All right, what is up, family? So, who on the call has read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne or watched the movie? Who on the call has read this book or at least watched the movie? Well, if you haven't, the base behind The Secret is the law of attraction, right? When The Secret came out in 2006, everybody started talking about it like it was just discovered. Right, but did you know Andrew Carnegie talked about the law of attraction back in 1908, right, when he was mentoring Napoleon Hill, who's actually the author of Think and Grow Rich, right? But Bob Proctor started to study this in 1961 and actually has a book called You Were Born Rich for free on his website. So if you're interested in getting it, I can drop the link in the chat after this call. But on page 109 in that book was the law of vibration and attraction, right? Vibration and attraction go together, right? Attraction is a secondary law. Vibration is a primary law. Everything vibrates, right? The law of vibration states that nothing rests, everything moves, right? A lot of people that are talking about the law of attraction don't understand it in depth, right? They have a small understanding of it, but I would think you would want to know it and at least know it well, right? So after studying this, I have found that if you understand it, it will definitely change your life. Okay, this is a long topic, but over the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'd like you to really think. Okay, and why should you? Because you can virtually have anything you want. But before we talk about the law of attraction in any depth, I want you to stop and think about the goals you're working on. See, most people are invested in A-type goals. And A-type goals are going after what you already know how to do. You'll often hear someone say, I have a goal to get a new car. If you ask them, have you ever had a new car before? Oh yeah, probably like 2 or 3 of them. They've known for a while how to get a new car, so that's not really a goal. Okay, that's maybe something they want to do, and they definitely should if that's what they want to do. But a goal is something that we set that's going to draw the best out of us. Okay, goals are not to get, that's a side benefit. Goals are to grow. Okay, when a person is done with going after what they know how to do, they go after what they think they can do. And that's a B type goal. Now, doing what you think you can do doesn't really give you any inspiration, right? There's no real growth to it. It's sort of like manipulation. If she does this, if he does this, if I can get this, then I can reach this goal. Once you understand this law, you'll start operating on a totally different vibration. You're going to start stretching, and that's what you really want to do. You are God's highest form of creation. You have been given tools that allow you to create. And that's the C type goal, the creative goal. This is going after what you really want. You don't know how to get it, but you know you're going to get it. The Wright brothers didn't know how to get a plane off the ground, but they knew they were going to get it off the ground, right? Stop and think about this. You think Steve Jobs knew how to create this before he did it? No. He couldn't tell you how he did this until after he did it, right? And that's the same thing with anything in life. People that have done great work didn't know that they were going to do it. I want you to really think about what you really want, okay? I want you to think about your dream home. What does it look like? What's the flooring look like? What are the walls looking like? What's the front look like? What does the backyard look like? Does it have a pool? How about that trip you want to take? How is it going to make you feel? What are you going to see? Or the business you want to build? Where do you want to take it? 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 figures? Understand this. If you can see it, you don't have to know how to get it. You are so much more than what you appear to be or even think you are. You already have within you all that's required to attract literally whatever you want into your life. Think about this. Okay, there's only 2 sources of reference to go to find out anything about yourself, right? One's science and the other's theology. Both of them clearly indicate nothing is created nor destroyed. If nothing is created nor destroyed, then everything's already here, if not in another state. Here's a plastic bottle full of water. The plastic used to be oil. The water used to be air, ether, or gas. I could boil this water and it would go right back to where it came from. Think about that for a moment. The water, the bottle, and my body are all made from the same thing. It's energy. Hold your hand out like this, okay? Hold it out in front of you and look at it. Did you know that your hand is changing at the rate of millions of cells per second? Just like that. You cast out millions of cells, 40, 50 million cells per second, and you recreate more. Do you know that we can create the life we want? We have to put ourselves in the vibration we need to be in to attract what we want to attract. Nobody has ever seen the mind before. The mind and the law of vibration are two things that when you start to understand them, everything starts to improve. When you really understand them, you take control of your life, okay? You have been given the ability to do that. All you have to do is learn how. And I'm going to show you how. So the mind is split up into two parts, right? We have the conscious and subconscious mind at the top of the body, right? And the instrument of the mind being the body. And the body moves into action that produces results. The body acts according to the vibration it's in. So not only are we getting the results we got, but we also have a picture in our mind, a dream, right? That dream is something you want to strive for. And that dream is up there, but it's on a different level. It's an invisible world, right? It's where only one person can see it. And that's you, right? Earl Nightingale said it great. He said, this great dream, this surging dynamic thing invisible to all the world except to the person who holds it, is responsible for every great advance of humankind. Now, the world we relate to is down here on the physical world, right? And we live through our senses. We go by what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, right? We get a report card and we let the report card tell us what kind of students we are, right? We graduate from school and the report card becomes the balance sheet or the bank account, right? But let's understand this, that anything we see outside was originated inside, right? Now it's the space between our dream and our results that we want to close, right? We want to understand how to close that space. How do we go from where we are to where we want to be? This is where the attraction starts, right? It starts in the non-physical world. Now, this is a mind game. You must really understand the mind if you're really going to make this happen, okay? And then once you study and understand it, then you attract according to the vibration that you are in. You control the vibration. Your brain is the electronic switching station. As you activate brain cells, you are altering the vibration you're in. As you alter the vibration, you alter what you attract into your life. So you have to understand how to control the vibration. And you can do that. And I'm going to show you how. So way back in 1934, the same year, Semyon Kurlian perfected a form of photography where you can photograph energy literally leaving the body. There was a doctor in San Antonio, Texas, called Dr. Thurman Fleet, right? He wanted to understand the mind and he wanted to understand paradigms. A paradigm is a mind program, right? It's a program in your subconscious mind that's controlling your behavior. Think about this. You already know how to do better than you're doing, but you're not doing it, right? Everybody does. The part of our mind that knows things and the part that controls our behavior are two different parts, okay? So let's talk about your part, your mind, and your paradigm, right? The paradigm is the programming in the subconscious mind that controls our behavior. And Fleet understood this, and he said, nobody has ever seen the mind. The mind is an activity, it's not a thing. He said, I'm going to eliminate confusion. I'm going to make a picture of the mind. And he drew a picture, and he said, just use your imagination, and this becomes the mind. He drew a picture with a big circle head with a line in the middle, separating the conscious and the subconscious mind with a small body at the bottom. Bob Proctor said this is the most valuable idea he has ever learned. So let's break down the drawing. The conscious mind is the thinking mind, and that's the part of you that thinks, right? That's also what we call the educated mind. This is where the intellect resides. Now, the intellect is something most people really don't understand. We should, but we don't, right? We have intellectual factors, these higher faculties. We're not taught to use them. We are taught to go by what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. We are literally trained as little kids at home and then in school to let the outside world control us. We are programmed genetically the moment of conception. All mom's DNA and all dad's DNA come together and becomes your DNA. Then 200 days later, you make your debut on the planet and you're programmed from the outside. Now your subconscious mind works quite different than the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is our emotional mind, right? We have the ability to think whatever we want. Every great leader that has ever lived has been in complete unanimous agreement on this one point. You and I become what we think about. They've disagreed on virtually everything else because we have the ability to think and we can choose. Going back to thinking for a moment, Viktor Frankl wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, and he said that no one, regardless of the intellectual or physical abuse he's subjected, could cause him to think something he didn't want to think. That's where we have the ability to choose, right? We have the ability to accept or reject everything we hear. Everything we hear on TV, social media, or something somebody tells us, right? And if we reject the information, we have the ability within us to originate new information, right? All that is true with the conscious mind, but not in the subconscious mind, right? Your subconscious mind must accept everything that's given to it, right? That's the universal mind. That's what controls the vibration you're in. Whatever information you impress, you must accept. It has no ability to reject. Okay, now think about this. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined, right? Whatever you impress, whatever you imagine, whether you hear it, read it, if you get emotional with it, it's real. Now that's pretty wild when you actually think about it. It's what you impress upon the subconscious mind that controls the vibration that you're in, right? The vibration is the frequency that you're operating on. If you're operating on a negative frequency, you're gonna feel bad, right? Feeling is a word we invented to describe our conscious awareness of the vibration we're in. Okay, we all vibrate, right? We're on a level of vibration. Okay, become tuned in to your own feeling, right? Become aware of what is happening. If you don't feel good, you have the ability just like that to alter the vibration that you're in, okay? You can change the idea that comes into your mind. And when you do that, everything in your life changes, right? Albert Einstein said something pretty interesting. He said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. He said, match the frequency of the reality you want. And you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not a philosophy. This is physics. Match the frequency of the reality you want. Now, what does science and theology teach us? Nothing is created nor destroyed. So everything is already here, right? See, Steve Jobs and his engineers had to get on the frequency that this was on, and we have it, right? Match the frequency of the good you desire. Remember I said build the dream in your mind? Well, now we're gonna get a little more serious about this, right? You are a mass of energy, and you function on frequencies. You are in a high speed of vibration. A frequency is a level of vibration. So when you change your vibration, the color and the density of the energy leaving your body will change. You can make it go a long way if the energy is strong. A frequency is a level of vibration. So the good you desire is on a frequency. That's what Einstein said. Match the frequency of the reality you want. So think about this. There are literally an infinite number of frequencies. There is no end to them. Think about a phone number. That's a frequency. You have to tune into my frequency to contact me. Now, this is something you want to understand. Every frequency or every one is connected to the one above or the one below. They're connected like the colors of the rainbow, right? There's no line where one stops and the other starts, right? You might be asking, what does this have to do with my dream? It has everything to do with your dream. If you've been stuck, if you had a difficult time altering your income, if you had a difficult time attracting into your life the relationship or the business you want, it's because you're on the wrong frequency and you're using the wrong tools. You're going by what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Einstein said the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. But what is the gift? Right? Your higher faculties. You have perception, memory, imagination, reason, intuition, and the will. These are all high mental tools. With imagination, we can put ourselves onto a higher frequency, right? We just use our imagination and build a picture of the good we want. And then we hold that picture with our will. The will is what gives us the idea to focus, to concentrate, right? When President John Kennedy asked Wernher von Braun, what would it take to build a rocket that would carry a man to the moon and bring him back safely to Earth? Von Braun said, the will to do it. Right? You've got to see it and hold the picture in your mind, then you will attract everything you need. That's how it works. We've got these higher faculties. We just have to learn how to use them. I want you to take an honest look at where you are in your life. And you can see how you got there, right? Take a look at the income you earn. Now, you know people that are earning a lot more than you, and they're nowhere near as bright as you, right? You know people that have built a very successful business and don't seem anywhere near as smart as you. You know where you are and how you got there because you can connect the dots looking back. Think about this, right? When we were little kids, we'd go to our parents or our guardians and say, Mom, Dad, I want da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And they were busy and they'd say, oh, how are you gonna get that? And of course, we didn't know how we were gonna get it. And they'd say, why don't you be satisfied with what you've got, right? You should never be satisfied. Dissatisfaction is a creative state, right? Dissatisfaction allowed us to actually have this call right now. Someone wasn't happy with not being able to see someone while talking to them when they're not physically here. But we grew up the idea, if you can't get it, forget it, right? And so 95% of the population have forgotten it and just let the dream go. But here's what you want to know. If you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand, because that is the frequency. Match the frequency of the good you desire. You may want to watch this video over 100 times until it actually sinks in. You know, through repetition, you'll say, oh, now I see it. Bob Proctor said, the moment your belief matches with any state, you fuse with it, and the union results in the activation and projection of its plots, plans, conditions, and circumstances. Right? Our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. And frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about it will change. Right? Through the repetition of watching what I'm going through, you'll change your belief about yourself. That's how I changed my belief. Right? I haven't stopped studying this since I started over a year ago. Right? The moment your belief matches with any state, you fuse with it. Well, your dream is the state you want to fuse with. Right? That's a frequency. There is a place. You can use your imagination to go there. Right? The moment your belief matches any state, you fuse with it. You become one with it. It becomes one with you. And this union results in the activation and projection of its plots, plans, conditions, and circumstances. Right? When you change your vibration, everything in your world changes. Right? Bob states, this new state of conscious awareness becomes your home from which you view the world. You're there in your imagination, and that's how you see it. Right? He goes on to say, it is your workshop. And it's your observant. You see outer reality shaping itself upon the model of your imagination. It is your workshop. Okay, this new state of consciousness is your new home from which you view the world. When you move on to a higher frequency, you will be communicating with a world totally foreign to you and beyond the reach of your five senses, right? It's a different world. You can't communicate there with your sensory factors. Nobody has ever done it before. You're dealing with the unseen. You're dealing with a creative level. You're not going to figure out with your intellect, right? You're going to have to use your intuition. You're going to have to follow your feeling. Intuition is that mental faculty that picks up vibration, right? You ask the question and the answer's there, right? That's the law of polarity. The whole universe operates by law, right? Dr. Werner von Braun said the natural laws of the universe are so precise. We don't have any difficulty building spaceships, sending people to the moon, and we can time the landing with the precision of a fraction of a second. When you move on to a higher frequency, you're dealing in a different realm. The people you're mixing with don't understand you. They're going to tell you you're crazy, right? Samuel Morse was taken before the United States Congress by some of his supporters, and they tried to get $30,000 for him to build some wires down and around Maryland when he could stop and start the flow of energy, and he was going to show how you could communicate through wires, which was Morse code, which helped to win the Second World War. But he had a senator stand up in Congress and say they'd be further ahead to give someone $30,000 to build a railroad to the moon. And he got more support than Sam Morris got. People just don't understand. What was the problem? Ignorance, not knowing. Sam Morris did a little better than Marconi, though. When Marconi suggested he was going to send a message to one place to the other, he wasn't even going to use any wires. He was going to send it through the medium of the molecule on a frequency. They had to check him into a mental institution. When Giordano Bruno back in the 1600s was spreading Copernicus' theory, who said that this planet was the center of everything, they burnt Bruno to the stake. All down through history, when someone makes a breakthrough in their immediate environment, the people think they're crazy. So we have the conscious mind, and that's where your intellect is, right? That's where you get what you want. And then you have the subconscious mind, where the paradigm is. And of course, you have the body, which is the instrument of the mind. Now, the law of attraction is always working. Okay, the law of attraction, though, responds to the paradigm. And what do I mean by that? The paradigm is the program. It controls the vibration your body and mind is in, right? And it's the vibration you're in that dictates what you attract. What we have to do, if we want to change things, we've got to make a new paradigm. We have to shift the paradigm. When you do that, your whole world changes. Then you're operating with a new paradigm. You start to attract new things. You have the dream in your conscious mind, in your imagination, you want it. You impress it upon the subconscious mind, and it turns into a desire. You don't get what you want, you get what you desire. In the Science of Getting Rich, Waddell stated that desire is the effort of the unexpressed possibility within, seeking expression without through your actions. Well, that desire is expressed through the body and changes the vibration the body is in. And the vibration causes you to act, and the action sets up an attraction. Right? And it's the action attraction that alters the results. Okay, really understand this. The desire alters the vibration changes the action, and the action sets up an attraction. That's what changes results. The law of attraction works intellectually. Okay, your intellectual mind will start attracting more thoughts on that frequency. Okay, it operates on an emotional level. You start to attract more energy and you move into a higher vibration. And of course, it changes everything on the physical level. Now, remember what I said. Don't go for that A or B type goal. Get up there, build the big picture, and stay there. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. If you stay on the frequency, if you hold the dream in your mind and you don't let the outside world control you, you will attract everything that you need. And that space between your results and your dream will fill in, and the way will be shown to you. Okay? You and I only have one problem, and it's ignorance. You just don't understand. Watch this often. You'll start to understand. All right, I appreciate you guys for hopping on the call. I will be doing this next week at 7 p.m. So I'll see you guys there. Peace.